Hello everyone, welcome to question session 2 for fluid mechanics. And in this session we will look into our chapter fluid pressure and its measurement. So let me start with mentioning few important points. First, let's start with pressure. So pressure is mathematically defined by using P is equal to F by A. Now this F is normal force upon area. Okay, and the unit of pressure is Pascal. Unit is Pascal or Newton per meter square. Okay, and in case of let's say, like as I mentioned in lecture, there are various type of pressures: your gauge pressure, vacuum pressure, and absolute pressure. So we write your P absolute is equal to P atmosphere plus P gauge. Okay, and also written P absolute can also be written as P ATM minus P vacuum. Okay, next if we talk about your BP machines. So in case of BP machine, your pressure sorry I mean it is based on like the pressure measurement device which is used here is sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer Sphygmomanometer is used in case of your BP machines. Now if I talk about your atmospheric pressure, so your PATM values are your 1 ATM, we write it as 1 ATM, or we also mention is that 760 mm of Hg. Okay, or we also write it as 10.3 meter of water column. Okay, and we can also like 1 ATM as 101.325 kilopascal. Okay, and in terms of bar I can write it as 1.01325 bar. Okay, now there are certain laws which we have studied here. So first one is your Pascal's law. Pascal's law. So Pascal's law states that at any point uh, in the liquid, your pressure in all the directions remains same. So your Px is equal to Py is equal to Pz. Okay, irrespective of orientation, your pressure remains same at a point. Okay, now the second is your hydrostatic law. Hydrostatic law. So in case of hydrostatic law, this hydrostatic law is also known by is given by Torricelli, and also known as Torricelli law. Sorry, Torricelli. Okay, and it is given by your dp by dh is equal to rho g. Okay, where h is your height. Okay, and if we consider depth, with depth, like if we consider height from the upper point to a move downward, then your dp by dz will be minus rho g. Okay, here Your one more point I would like to mention here, your atmospheric pressure barometer is used to measure atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. Okay. And we have studied about your single manometers, or let me write you here pressure head. So we can write your pressure head in case of manometers as H is equal to P by rho g. This is your pressure head. Okay. And for single column manometers, in case of your single column manometer, and second one is your like inclined tube. If we talk about inclined tube manometer, so important point in your single column manometer is basically your percentage error, and this is equal to your delta H by H into 100, and will be equal to small a upon capital A into 100. Next, in inclined tube manometer, we have sensitivity of inclined tube is equal to 1 upon sine theta. Okay, 1 upon sine theta. So these are few important points in case of your fluid pressure and its measurement. Now we will start with the questions. So here, this is the first question. A pressure gauge connected to a tank reads 500 kilopascal at a location where atmospheric pressure is given so we have been given PATM is equal to 94 kilopascal, and what else is given? The gauge pressure is P gauge is equal to your 500 kilopascal. So in this question it is mentioned that a pressure gauge connected to a tank reads 500 kilopascal at a location where atmospheric pressure is given as this. Okay, so we have our atmospheric pressure is equal to 94 kilopascal. Determine the absolute pressure, and we have given that gauge pressure connected to the tank is your 500 kilopascal. So gauge pressure given is this. So we have to calculate your absolute pressure in the tank. So P absolute is equal to PATM plus P gauge we know, and if we substitute both values, so we will obtain 594 kilopascal as the answer. Okay, now we will move to our next question. Connected to a chamber reads 36 kilopascal at a location where the atmospheric pressure is this. Absolute pressure of the chamber you have to calculate. So we know that pressure absolute is equal to pressure gauge plus pressure atmosphere. Okay, so we can write it as your pressure gauge is given as 36 kilopascal plus 92 is your atmospheric pressure. So this will be your 9 plus 3 12, so 128 kilopascal is your absolute pressure in a chamber. Next is your gauge pressure in a liquid at a depth of 3 meters is read to be 28 kilopascal. Determine the gauge pressure at the same liquid at the depth of 12 meter. Okay, so we know that pressure at certain depth, okay, pressure at depth is equal to, and if we talk about absolute pressure, will be equal to pressure atmospheric plus rho g h. So this term is your gauge pressure, we can say this is your P gauge. So your pressure depth at any depth according to gauge will be equal to rho gh. Okay, so pressure is 28 kilopascal in gauge. Okay, is equal to rho g times of 3. Okay, we have to calculate the same pressure at 12 meters. So from here we can calculate rho g is equal to 28 by 3. Okay, and at 12 meter depth gauge pressure we have to determine. So P gauge is equal to rho g h. So rho g is 28 by 3 into 12 is equal to, so this is 28 to the 56 to the 112. This is 112 now kilopascal. Okay, so this is your answer. Now in this question it is mentioned that two tanks are built one inside another as shown in the figure. The two Borden gauges P and Q are connected to the inner and outer tank respectively. The barometer reading is 760 mm of the mercury. Okay, so I mean here let's say this is your state A. Okay, so or atmosphere, we can say atmosphere. Okay, so P ATM is given as 750 mm of Hg. 750 mm of Hg. Okay, now it is said that gauge pressure P readed. So P of P gauge is equal to 15 kilopascal is equal to rho gh. Okay, so I can say rho gh, and we can write rho for your rho g for mercury. It is mercury na. So 13.6 into 13600 into 9.81 into H at P. Okay, so this is your 15 divided by 9.81 divided by 13.6. Okay, so if we do this, so we have obtained our H at P is equal to 112.4 mm of Hg. Okay, so we have been given and we have been provided with P at Q read 30 kilopascal. This is also our gauge is equal to 30 kilopascal is equal to rho gh, and if we substitute the same values, so we will obtain our H at Q is equal to, since pressure twice, so height will be twice into 2, it is 224.8 mm of Hg. Okay, so we have HP and HQ. Now it is as the absolute pressure recorded by P. So we can see P at Q absolute is equal to P at Q gauge plus P atmosphere. Okay, so the PQ gauge is given by your 224.8 plus P atmosphere is 750. Okay, so this is your is equal to 974.8 mm of Hg. Okay, now it is also recorded P. Okay, so your P at P absolute is equal to P at P gauge. Okay, plus now your absolute your atmospheric pressure at around P will be your absolute at Q. Okay, because surrounding for P is your pressure at Q, pressure measured by Q, and this to be your absolute pressure plus P Q absolute. I hope you understood this principle in here. Okay, so for Q, outside pressure, that is atmospheric pressure, is equal to atmospheric, but for P, if we talk about P, so for Pu outside pressure is atmospheric plus Q gauge. This is your atmospheric pressure is for your P. Okay, so if we add both, so we will obtain PP gauge plus this one. So PP gauge is your 112.4. So this is your 1087.2 mm of Hg, and it is asked in terms of mercury decimeter. So we can say answer is equal to 1.087 meter of Hg. Okay, so please look at the question carefully, and I hope you get this solution as well. Okay, now that pressure in the automobile tire depend on the temperature of air in the tire. Okay, and when the temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, the pressure gauge reads 210 kilopascal. Okay, if the volume of tower is 0.025 meter cube, determine the pressure rise in the tire when the air temperature in the tire rises to 50 degrees Celsius. So let's write what are the given parameters here. Okay, so at T1 is equal to 25 degrees Celsius. 25 degrees Celsius is your 298 Kelvin. 298 Kelvin. What is given? Your P1. Now this is in gauge. Is given as your 210 kilopascal. Okay, and the volume of tire is given as volume V1 is equal to 0.025 meter cube. Okay, and next what is given? It is given that determine the pressure rise in the tire. So at temperature T2 is equal to 50 degrees Celsius. 50 degrees Celsius is equal to 273 plus 50 will be our 323 Kelvin. Okay, yes, 323 Kelvin. Now we have been asked amount of air, okay, pressure rise in the tire. So delta, so P2 will be some value, P2 will be some value here. Okay, we have to calculate delta P is equal to P2 minus P1, and this value you have to calculate. Okay, it is mentioned that also that determines the amount of air that must be bled off to restore the pressure to its original value at this temperature. Okay, assume the atmospheric pressure to be 100 kilopascal. So we have been given the atmospheric pressure to be 100 kilopascal. So we know that our ideal gas equation, and again V2 will be equal to your V1, that is equal to 0.025 meter cube. Okay, now ideal gas equation, we know ideal gas equation is given by your PV is equal to, or PV is equal to MRT. Okay, now here your P is your absolute pressure, and T is your absolute temperature. Okay, so your absolute pressure, so P1 absolute can be written as is equal to P1 gauge plus P atmospheric. Okay, now P atmospheric 100, this is your 210, so this will be your 310 kilopascal. Okay, so let's substitute the values here. Okay, so let's move this part here only. Okay, okay, let's write it here. Okay, and if you substitute the values here, so if I apply P1, V1 is equal to MRT1. Okay, now since the system is closed, so M1 will be equal to M2 only. So let's calculate the M value first. Okay, so M is equal to P1 V1 by RT1, P1 V1 by RT1. Now P1 is your 310 kilopascal, 310 kilopascal times of V1 is your 0.025 divided by 0.25 divided by your R is for air is your 0.287. Okay, into T1 is your 298. So if we solve this, so let me divide these values first. So 310 into 0.025 divided by 0.287 and divided by 298. So this comes out to be M is equal to your 0.09062 kgs. Okay, now we can write P2 V2 is equal to MRT2. Okay, now this M will be same as M1 only. Okay, so from here we can calculate P2 is equal to M times of R is our 0.287 into T2 is your 323 divided by P2, sorry, divided by V2 is our 0.025. Okay, so P2 comes out to be 336 kilopascal. Okay, but this is your absolute. Okay, absolute. So P2 gauge, if I want to write P2 gauge, so this will be your absolute minus atmospheric. Atmospheric is 100, so this comes out to be 236 kilopascal. Okay, so P2 gauge is over this. Okay, now it is asked for our delta P, so we can write your delta P is equal to P2 gauge minus P1 gauge. So or I can write P2 minus P1 absolute minus 310. This comes out to be 26 kilopascal, 26 kilopascal only. Okay, so this is your first answer. Okay, now it is mentioned what determined amount of air that must be bled off to restore the pressure to its original value. So let's say if P1 to be equal to P2 equal to P2 dash. Okay, so I can write that your P1 V2 is equal to M dash R T2. Okay, so P1 is your 310 into V2 is 0.025 divided by R is 0.287 divided by T, that is your 323. So from here we have obtained our M dash is equal to 0.0836 kg. Okay, and it is also what is to be asked, also determine the pressure rise in the tire. We have determined 26 kilopascal. Determine the amount of air that must be bled off to restore pressure. Okay, so delta M with the amount of pressure, amount of gas released to be your M2, or sorry, M minus M dash is equal to minus 0.0962. So this is your delta M is equal to 0.007 is equal to your basically 7 grams of gas, 7 gram of gas if we bled out, so your pressure will be equal to your original pressure. Okay, so I think you should have understood the basic concept behind this question, which I wanted to share with you. That for in like your in ideal gas equation, for pressure and temperature, we have to use your absolute values only. Okay, now we will move to our next question. In this question, it is asked that water tank is pressurized by air. Okay, and the pressure is measured by multi-fuel manometer. Okay, H1 is equal to, we have given H1 value is equal to this, H2 is this, H3 is equal to this. Okay, take the density of the oil and mercury as this. Okay, respectively. Gauge pressure of the air in the tank. Okay, so let's say that pressure here is PA. Okay, so what shall we do? So let's write your manometer equation. So PA. Now let's move from this point to, or let me choose another color here. From this point to here, pressure is PA. PA to here to this point. Okay, because since it is like a same liquid, so in the same liquid at the same level, your pressure will be same. Okay, so we have moved downward by your H1. So PA plus rho of water, G times of H1. Since we are moving downward, pressure will increase. Okay, we have reached this point now. Okay, we have directly jumped from this point to this point. Okay, now from here we will, like if I want to move, so from here and here both point pressure will be same at same level. Okay, and if you move h2 distance downward, so here again pressure will be different. Okay, so plus rho of oil into G times of H2. Okay, and here again this is your mercury, so at like here and here your pressure will be same level and same liquid. Okay, and now we are moving upward, so this will be equal to minus rho mercury into G into S3. So we have reached point 2, and at point 2 pressure is atmospheric pressure. Since we have to calculate your gauge pressure here, okay, so gauge pressure, okay, so we will take it as equal to 0 only. Okay, while we want to calculate your gauge pressure, so we consider your atmospheric pressure to be 0. Okay, now now we have, or we can, even if we write, let's say PATM, this PA will be your here absolute pressure. So we will obtain our PA minus PATM is equal to PA gauge, and this value will be equal to rho Hg S3 minus rho water H1 minus rho oil H2 times of G. Okay, and if we substitute values here, so rho Hg is our 13.6 into H3 is your 0.8 minus rho W is your 1 into H1 is your 0.4 minus rho naught is your 0.85. Okay, like I have divided all the your density term by 1000 into H2 is your 0.6. Okay, into 10 to the power 3. Now densities are exactly the same in your kg per meter cube, into G is your 9.81. If I solve this, so I will obtain our P, A and gauge. Okay, this pressure will be equal to, so from this we will obtain our pressure P gauge is equal to 97.8 kilopascal. Okay, this is your answer here. Okay, now let's move to next question. This next question is water from a reservoir is raised in a vertical tube of internal diameter d. Okay, so the d equal to, sorry, this is d equal to 30 centimeter uh, under the influence of pulling force F of the piston. Determine the force needed to raise the water to a height of h is equal to 1.5 meter above the free surface, also taking the atmospheric pressure to be this. Okay, so we have been given your atmospheric pressure PATM is equal to 96 kilopascal. 96 kilopascal. Okay, and okay, so if we want to determine the pulling force of the piston, determine the force needed to raise the water to a height of this. So what I can say here, that pressure at this point is your PATM. Okay, let's say this is point number 1, and at the same level inside this tube, let's say this is your point number 2, and this here in the fluid below, just below your piston, is your point number 3. Okay, point number 3. So I can say from here that your P1 is equal to your P1 is equal to PATM. Your P2 will be equal to P1 because both are on same level. Okay, at the same level inside the same liquid, your pressure will be remain same. Okay, now if I talk about your P3, then okay, or let me write it here only. Okay, if I talk about P3, then P3 will be equal to P2 minus rho GH. I hope you understood this, because we are moving upward, your pressure will be decreasing. Okay, so if we want to calculate your pressure at 3 points, so I will substitute these values. But before that, let's calculate first, like your P1 is equal to P atmosphere is equal to 96 kilopascal, and this P2 is equal to will also be your 96 kilopascal. So P3 will be equal to P2, that is 96 minus, now it is in kilopascal, so into 10 to the power 3 minus rho is your 1000 for water, into G is your 9.81, into H, we don't know whether you have H. Okay, so this is your pressure P3. Okay, so, and we know that for this to be in balanced at at point H, at height H, we can say that upward force, like force due to pressure on the piston, let's consider the piston differentially. Let's say this is your piston, let's say this is your piston. So on piston, upward force of F is acting. Okay, and this pressure should be acting in down, like since we are moving upward, so pressure will be below that of atmospheric. Here your atmospheric pressure will be acting. This is your PATM. Okay, will be in this direction, and P3 will be in this direction. So this is your force or pressure on your piston. Okay, so from here what we can say, for equilibrium, it will be F minus PATM times of area plus P3 times of area is equal to 0. Okay, so you can write from here that your F is equal to P3A minus P, oh sorry, minus P3A plus P at A into A. Okay, so here let's remove this line and let me write here that P3 minus P2. Now P2 we can also write it as PATM. PATM is equal to minus rho GH. So I can say that PATM minus P3 is equal to rho GH, that is your 1000 times of 9.81 times of H. Okay, so I can write what I can write here. I can write it as F is equal to PATM minus P3 times of A. Okay, if we substitute the values, so I will obtain F is equal to PATM minus P3 is your 9810 times of H. Okay, into A. Now A, area of the piston, we can write it as, like, since it has diameter of D, so I can write it as pi by 4 D square. Pi by 4 D square. Okay, but we have given the value of D is equal to 30 centimeter, that is your, and H is equal to 1.5 meter. Let's substitute the values here. So F is equal to 9810 into H is your 1.5 meter as it mentioned, into pi by 4 into D square is D is your 0.3 meter from here, so 0.3 square. Okay, now if we solve this, so let me calculate the answer. This is your 9810 into 1.5 into pi is 3.142 divided by 4 into your 0.09. So this becomes your F is equal to 1040.3 Newton. So this much force is required to complete the task. Okay, required to complete the task. Okay, I hope you understood this point here. Okay, now let's move to next question. So in this question it is mentioned that both gauge and manometer are attached to a gas tank to measure the pressure. If the reading on the pressure gauge is 65 kilopascal, determine the distance between the two fluid level of the manometer if the fluid is A mercury, okay, and B water. Okay, so what will happen, like what is happening here, that P gauge of the gas is 65 kilopascal. Okay, and this is measured using manometer also. So if it is measured using manometer, so if I apply manometer here, so I can write that P gas is equal to P gas, P gas. Now here also the pressure will be P gas. So at this point the pressure will be same as that will be at this point. Okay, because in same liquid at same level. Okay, now we are moving upward, so minus rho of manometric fluid into G times of H is equal to, now since we are talking about gauge pressure, so it should be equal to 0. Okay, and P gas is given as, gauge is given as 65 kilopascal, or if let's write it is equal to P ATM here. So if it is your absolute pressure, so P gas minus P ATM, so this become gauge, okay, is equal to rho GH. Okay, so either you can write P ATM here if you want to like consider the P as your absolute pressure. Okay, then you can like get P gas minus P ATM to be gauge, or you can directly write here 0 such that your P gas will become gauge automatically. Okay, so P gas minus P ATM gauge pressure is given as 65 kilopascal. So this 65 into 10 power 3 is equal to rho G H. Okay, so it is asked about first height of the liquid. So from here from here we will get H is equal to 65 65 into 10 power 3 times of rho g. Okay, so first in case of your mercury, your rho is 13600. Okay, so if I calculate this, let me do this, wait a minute. So this is 65,000 divided by g, that is 9.81, divided by your mercury density of mercury, that is 13600. so this comes out to be your H is equal to 487 meter. Okay, and in case of your B, if case of water, your density is simply 1000, so we will get it as your H is equal to 6.626 meter. Okay, so this is your height of the manometric, like height difference or difference between two levels of the manometric fluid in case of mercury and water. Now let's move to next question. Fresh water and sea water flowing in the parallel horizontal pipelines are connected to each other, okay, using by a double U2 manometer as shown in the figure. Determine the pressure difference between the two pipeline. Take the density of sea water to be 1035 and can the air column be ignored in the analysis? Okay, so let's start with this. Let's say this is your pipe A, this is your pipe B. Okay, and let's say this is, here is you are measuring PA, here you are measuring PB. Okay, so pressure in the we will start writing your manometry. So, and one more thing, your density of fresh water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, and sea water it is given as 1035. So P A, now since we are moving downward by 50 centimeters, so I will write plus rho of fresh water times of G times of H. H is your 0.5 meter. Okay, let's convert it into meter. Okay, and now since we have reached here, so at this level and this level your pressure will remain same. We'll jump from this point to this point, and since we are moving upward, so minus rho of mercury times of G times of, now H is your 0.1 meter. Okay, now since this is a air column, so we can move from we are still moving upward, so minus rho air times of G. H is your 0.7 meter, 0.7. Okay, and again since at same level we will jump from this point to this point. Okay, and here we are moving downward now, so plus rho of sea water times of G times of H is your 30 centimeter, is 0.3 meter, and this is equal to, at here we will get your pressure PB. Okay, it is asked to calculate the pressure difference between the two pipelines. Okay, so first let's substitute your values here. Let's calculate PA minus PB. So PA minus PB is equal to, so this negative term will become positive on that side, so this will be rho Hg, that is 13600 density into G, or if we take, let's say we are taking G as common here. Okay, G is all terms, so we will take G here into 0.1 into 0.1. Now this is a negative term, this is also negative term, this will become positive, that is rho air is your 1.2 times of 0.7. Okay, and okay, so let me highlight these terms here. Okay, so air term Okay, and here this is also your term here for air. Okay, now here minus of, so this fresh water term will become negative on that side. So fresh water density 1000 into H is your 0.5. Similarly for seawater also this will become negative, so minus 1035 is density into H is your 0.3. Okay, so if I calculate the value, so Pa minus Pb by G is equal to, so this will become 1360 plus, so 12 sevens, 12 into 7 is 84, so this will become 0.84 minus this will become 500 minus again here 1035 into your 0.3 will become 310.5. Okay, and this is your term for air column. Okay, now if we solve this, so we will, from here we will obtain our Pa minus Pb is equal to, let's solve this first. Okay, if we solve this, so we will obtain our Pa minus Pb is equal to multiplied by G. So this will become 5398.84 Pascal. Okay, so this is your Pa minus Pb. Okay, now it is one more point is asked here. It is asked that can the air column be ignored in the analysis? So if we see the analysis here, so for air, like head for air, if we see this air, the term including the your pressure change due to air is very small in comparison to other terms, like this is 300, 500, 1300, but this is, it doesn't even, value is not even reaching 1. Okay, so yes, air column can be neglected or ignored in analysis. Okay, so now we are done with this question. Let's move. So in this question it is mentioned that pressure difference between an oil pipe, okay, so this is oil pipe, and water pipe is measured by a double fluid manometer. Okay, so this is mercury and glycerine. Okay, for the given figure, fluid heights and specific gravity is calculated. For the given fluid heights and, okay, so these are specific gravity is given and height is given different. We have to calculate the pressure difference. Okay, so let's start with this point. Okay, this A. So let's say that Pa is the pressure at point A. So we will write Pa. Okay, so from here we will here Pa will be same here. Okay, now we will move to this point. At this side, this is our water only. Okay, so like we are moving down, so positive. Okay, and Sg is 1, so the density of water is 1000. So plus rho of water, or let me get 1000 G into H. H is here 55 centimeters, so 0.55. Okay, now from here also we are moving downward up to this point, because at these 2 points your pressure will be same. Okay, so this will be plus. Now specific gravity of mercury is 13.5. So 500 G times of, now height is 0.2 meters. Okay, now from here we will moving upward until this point, because at this point your pressure will be same. Okay, so this height will be 20 plus 12, so this is 22 and this is 20, so this will be 44, sorry 42. Okay, so 42 is, so this is minus. Now density is your 1260 g times of your 0.42. Okay. Okay, now we have reached this point. From here we will move up to this point. Okay, so this will be your plus. Now specific gravity is 0.88, so 880 times of g into height is your 10 centimeter is 0.1 meter. Okay, so this will be equal to PB. Okay, now pressure difference between oil pipe and water pipe. So PB minus PA we have to calculate. So PB minus PA is equal to, so here let's take your 1000 G as common. So if we take 1000 G as common, so we will obtain 0.55 plus 13.5 into 0.2 minus 1.26 into 0.42 plus 0.88 into 0.1. Okay, so from here we can calculate our PB minus PA. So PB minus PA is equal to, so if we calculate this, so let's solve this. So 0.55 plus 13.5 into 0.2 plus 0.88 into 0.1 minus your 1.26 into 0.42. Okay, so 0.55 plus 13.5 into 0.2 plus 0.88 into 0.1 minus 1.626 into 0.42. So this is your, this value is equal to this into 9810. This is your here. Okay, so this is your 27,554 Pascal. Okay, so I can write it as 27.55 kilopascal. Okay, so this is your answer here. Okay, now moving to next question. So this, in this question it is mentioned that a gasoline line is connected to a pressure gauge. Okay, so here the pressure gauge is 260 kilopascal. Through a U2 double U2 manometer, the reading of the pressure gauge is 260. Okay, okay, so we have measured using your this. Determine the gauge pressure of the gasoline line. Okay, so at this end your gauge pressure is of air here is 260 kilopascal, and you have to calculate pressure at this point. So say that pressure of gasoline is PG. So we will start from here, applying manometry. So PG or PG. Now we will move downward. So plus times of, so Sg is 770.7, so density will be 700 G into H is your 22 centimeters, so 0.22. Now from here we have reached this point. Now in mercury, for mercury we have to move 10 centimeter downward, and from here we will directly jump to this point. So this is your plus 13.6 into 1000 times of G into 0.1. Now again here we have to move like upward and upward up to this point, because from here we can directly jump to this point. So this will be minus Now this is your oil, specific gravity is 7.79. So this is 790 G times of your height is 0.5 meter. 0.5 meter. Okay. Now we have reached at this point, and from here we will move downward in case of for water. Okay. So this is your plus 1000 G times of height is your this is 45 centimeter. So 0.45. Okay. So here now from here we will jump to this point, and at this point your air pressure is given as 260 kilopascal is equal to 260 kilopascal. This is gauge pressure. Okay. Now from here we will get your PG, that is gauge pressure of the gasoline line. So PG is equal to, let's calculate the value. So this is your 700 into 0.22 plus 13.6 into 0.1, or I can say it is 1000 or 100. Okay, plus 13.6 into 100. Now this is plus 450. Okay, 1000 into 0.45 minus 790 into 0.5 into 9.81. So this is in your our Pascal. Okay, now one more thing here, like I should mention this in 260,000 I should mention, because all these units are, all these terms are in your Pascal only. Okay, now minus plus we will add 260. Okay, so we have obtained our PG is equal to 244.6 kilopascal. So this is your gauge pressure of gasoline. I hope you understood the principle behind this question. Okay, now in this question, these are similar type of questions. So basically for practice I have included these questions. So here the pressure of the water flowing through the pipe is measured by arrangement shown in the figure. For the values given, calculate the pressure in the pipe. So this is your pipe. Okay, so let's say that pressure is, let's say this point is your A. Okay, so if I'll directly started writing manometry, so PA is the pressure here. Now up to this point it is mentioned that this height is L2. And one more thing, like here is angle theta. Okay, now we can write, so this so this length is from here to here is your 6 centimeter, and from here to here is your 6 centimeter. Okay, now this height here is your h1, that is 8 centimeter. So this will form your triangle. So I can write my cos theta is equal to sin theta is equal to, I should use sin theta here. Sin theta is equal to perpendicular is 8 upon hypotenuse is 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay, so from here we can find our theta is equal to 8 divided by 12. Okay, then sin inverse 41.8 degrees. 41.8 degrees. Okay, this is your theta. Okay, so this is your theta. We have calculated theta. Now if I okay, so let me remove these markings from here first. Now if I want to apply manometry, so from this point we will move downward. Now your to apply like your hydrostatic law, we know that it is dp by dp by dh is equal to rho g, and this height is vertical height. Okay, since like this is 6 centimeter divided in two parts, basically we can write here that this is your like 8 centimeter will divide into two parts, 4 centimeter, 4 centimeter. Okay, both side will be equal, or we can also use your L2 cos theta. Okay, so see here, if I apply cos of this angle into L2, that is 6, I will get 4 point. Okay, not so, sorry, that will be sine again. So 6 into theta is your 41.8 and sine this is 3.999. Okay, so for around 4 centimeter only. So PA plus your rho of water is 1000 G into height is your 4 centimeter, that is 0.04. Okay, now in mercury we have moved to mercury. This is your gauge fluid, that is 2.4 Sg. So plus 2400 G. Okay, into height is your again 4 centimeter, 0.04 meter. Okay, now from here we will directly move to this point, and from here we will move up to here, that is your h2 is equal to 50 centimeter. So this is minus 1000 G into 50 centimeter is 0.5. Okay, and then at this point your pressure is given as 30 kilopascal. 30 kilopascal. Okay, at this point your pressure is 30 kilopascal. 30 kilopascal I will write it 30,000. Okay, because here all your values are in pascal only. So if I calculate this, so with this will become your 0.04 plus 2.4 into 0.04 minus 0.5. Okay, into 9810. Okay, and then make it positive and then add 30,000. So this 33.57 kilopascal will be PA. So from here we can write that PA is equal to 33.57 in kilopascals. Okay, okay, 33.57. Okay, I hope you get this. Okay, so generally your height taken is vertical height only. We don't take into consideration your slant height. I mean, this question consider the system shown in the figure. If the change of 0.9 kilopascal in the pressure of the air causes the brine-mercury interface. So brine-mercury. Okay, so brine-mercury, this is interface in the right column to drop by 5 mm in the brine level. It dropped by 5 mm. Okay, if the brine level in the area in the right column okay, while the pressure in the brine pipe remains constant, determine the A. Okay, so consider system shown in the figure. If the change of 0.9 kilopascal in the pressure of air. Okay, here we are changing pressure, change of 0.9 kilopascal in the pressure we are doing. Okay, and this will cause your liquid to fall by 5 mm. Okay, so we have to calculate the ratio A2 by A1. Okay, and the pipe brine pipe remains constant. The pressure in the brine pipe remains constant. Okay, so let's look into this. So this is, let's say this is your P of air is PA. PA is the pressure here, and let's say this pressure is PB. Okay, and it is mentioned that if you if we apply manometer, let's say this height is let's say this height is h1. Okay, this height here up to like, let's say up to this point is here h2, and this height from here to here is your h3. Okay, so initially what is happening, your pressure was Pa, okay, plus water density is your 1000 G into your height is h1, okay, plus 13.6 into 1000 G into h2. Okay, now we will be moving upward, like we can directly jumping jack method, jump from this point to this point in the same liquid at the same level. Okay, now we will move upward up to height h3. So minus of your density of brine pipe is your 1.1 Hg is 1.1. So 1.1 times of 1000 G times of H3, okay, is equal to your PB. Okay, now this is your equation number 1, let's say. Now what is happening, if your this PA becomes your PA dropped, changes of 0.9, like it's dropped by 0.9 kilopascal, let's say 0.9 kilopascal. If it is dropped by, if Pa becomes Pa minus 0.95, then what happens, this is your level. Okay, this is your interface here. This height will become h2. Now okay, one more thing, like here there will be some certain change in the level here. Okay, now let's say that if like mercury level will fall, then here there will be certain rise. Okay, let's say this x, this rise to be x. Okay, I hope you understood till here. Okay, so your water level will rise here, from here also water level will of course rise up to your x point. By x distance your water level will rise. So your water column height will remain h1, but your mercury height will become h2 plus x. I hope you understood this point. Okay, now if I want to calculate, let's say, value of x, so I can apply your volume conservation, like this area A1 times of x, A1 times of x is equal to A2 times of 5 mm 5 mm. Okay, and one more thing, since we are considering like all the your parameters in, okay, and one more thing here, let's write it 900 pascal. Okay, and let's say this is your point area A2 and dimension is your 0.005 meters. Okay, so your x is equal to 0.005 times of A2 by A1. This is your x. Sure. Now your new equation will be, new parametric equation will be Pa minus 900 plus 1000 G into H1 plus 13.6 into 1000 G into times of your H2 plus x is your height of the mercury will be like at this level. Okay, oh sorry, one more thing, like here from here to here, like your 5 mm will also be added in here. So this is H2 plus x plus 5 mm, that is your 0.005. Now this will become your like at this level, what will happen, At this level, your total height will become h2 plus x plus 5 mm. Okay, now we have converted mm into meter here. Now we have reached this point. From here we will move upward, so this will be minus 1.1 times of 1000 g times of, now this height will become h3 plus 5 centimeter, sorry 5 mm. So h3 plus 5 mm is 0.005. okay, and this will be equal to your PB, because pressure in the your brine pipe remains same. Now if we subtract, so let's say this is equation number 2. Now we will make an operation here, and that operation is your 1 minus 2. We will do 1 minus 2. So if we see in here, so 1 minus 2 will become, so first term let's consider this and this term, so this will become 900. Now this term minus this term, this both term will be cancel out. Okay, so this term minus this term, so your x and this term will be left out. So my, and of course of minus, so minus 13600 times of g into your x plus 0.005. okay, now this term minus this term, so here this term will be left out and this will be in positive, plus 1100, okay, 1100 g times of your 0.005 is equal to, so PB minus PB is 0. okay, now if we substitute the values here, so let's calculate your value of, so let's calculate the value of x from here first. okay, then we can calculate using x we can calculate a2 by a1. So if I want to calculate the value of x, so let's see what I should how should I proceed. So let's take the this complete term on that side. So here what will be left, 900 plus 1100 into 9.81 into 0.005. okay, so 953. Now we will divide it by this term here. This term is divided by 13600 divided by 9.81. okay, now this is your x plus 0.005. now we will subtract 0.005 from here, and we will obtain our x is equal to 0.00215 meters. okay, now we can directly use this relation from here, and we will substitute x is equal to 0.005 times of a2 by a1 is equal to 0.00215. we will divide it by your 0.005. so from here we have obtained our a2 by a1 is equal to 0.43. so this is your solution. So it is a2 by a1, and we have calculated the ratio of a2 by a1, that is 0.43. okay, so we have given that pressure changes 0.9 kilopascal, right column to drop by 5 mm. okay, so since it is dropping, so here the pressure must be decreasing. okay, because if it is increasing, so like let's say if we have considered PA plus 900, so it should be rising, like it will rise by 5 mm. okay, but since it is mentioned it column to be dropped by 5 mm, so the change must be your decrease. okay, and I hope you understood this up to here. okay, now let's move to next question. In this question, U-tube in the figure has a 1 centimeter ID and contains mercury is shown in the figure. If 20 centimeter of water is poured into the right hand leg, okay, so let's say we have poured 20 centimeter cube of water. 20 centimeter cube water we have poured inside this. What will the free surface height in each leg be after the slogging has died down? Okay, so let's say that if we add, so this is your initial level, this is your initial level. Now if I add 20 centimeter cube of, let's say, water, so what will happen? Like this, mercury will rise up to certain point. Let's say mercury rises up to this point. Okay, this is your mercury. Okay, and this, let's say this height here is rise in this length is x, so here it will fall by x units, it will fall by x unit. Okay, and above this, including this x unit plus moreover after this this x and up to certain point, this will be your water. Okay, so how much volume is of water is added? Volume of water added is is equal to 20 centimeter cube. Okay, so height of water column, height of water column will be we can say this volume is equal to pi by 4 d square times of h. You can write it like this. Okay, and so here we can 20 centimeter cube divided by pi by 4 times of d square. D square is 1 centimeter diameter, so 1 square. Okay, so this height will be in centimeter only. This will be 80 by pi. 80 by 5 centimeter is the height of water column. Okay, and if I solve this, so 80 divided by pi is equal to 25.46. 25.46 centimeter is your liquid column height, sorry, water column height. So this total height from here up to this point should be your 25.46. okay, and this should be balanced. So this is your let's apply manometry here. Okay, let's say this is your point, apply manometry. So we can say that at this level again they both are the same liquid. From here we can jump directly to this point. So let's say this is point number 1, this is your point number 2. So I can say that P1 must be equal to your P2. Okay, okay, for equilibrium, you can say for equilibrium what should happen? Your P1 should be equal to P2. So if I want to write P1 and P2, so let me write P1 and P2 values here. So P1 is your mercury column height up to x plus x, 2x height. Okay, so mercury your density is your 13.6 times of water, that is 13.6 into rho g into h. H is your 2x. So this is your pressure at P1, and this should be equal to your pressure at P2, that is your water column height. And water column height is, we have calculated as this. So let's write it as 1000 times of g times of 25.46. okay, sorry, this is in centimeter, so we have to consider this in. Okay, so what is what is the free surface height in each leg? Okay, so let's, okay, so we will directly get your, if I use it in centimeter, so I will directly get your x value in centimeter only. So 25.46, okay, divided by 13.6 divided by 2. So we have obtained, I have obtained my x value to be, I hope I have done everything correct here, is equal to 0.0 936 centimeter. Okay, or 0.94 centimeter. 94 centimeter. Okay. So if I talk about like what will the free surface height in each leg, so let's talk about your left leg, and right leg. Right leg. So at left leg, the height will be 10 plus x is equal to 10 plus x is equal to 10.94 centimeter. Okay, and in right leg, it would be your like this water height, column height was your 25.46. Right leg, it will be 25.46 minus x plus 10. Okay, and this would be equal to minus plus 35.46 is equal to 34.52 centimeter. Okay, okay. So this is your free surface height in each leg. I hope you understood this till here. Now we will be moving to our next question. So in this question, consider a U-tube filled with mercury, shown in the figure. The diameter of the right arm of the U-tube. Okay, so this diameter is 1.5 given. This is your 2D. Okay, twice, and heavy oil. Okay, so here it is mentioned that all is poured from here. Okay, and the height is 12 centimeter. Okay, so what else is mentioned here? Determine the maximum amount of oil that can be added into the left arm. Maximum amount of oil that can be added into left arm. Now let's say that this height from here up to your let's say midline of base, this height is, let's say, is your h. Okay, this height is your h. Okay, and let's say that this level was initial level, there was this level. Now let's say that this level falls by your x centimeters, fall below by your x centimeter, by your or by x, then this level will rise with your y, rise by your y. Okay, so to calculate the relation, we can say that volume in left volume left displaced is equal to volume right displaced. Okay, so this volume will be area into height, pi by 4, d square is 2d square into height is your x is equal to pi by 4 d square into y. Okay, so from here we can say that y is equal to 4x. Okay, so this is your relation. So the rise in this limb will be 4 times the rate of fall in this limb. I hope you understood this now. Okay, and if this falls here, then this height will be considered to be of your oil only. Okay, of the part of the oil only. Okay, so if I apply your manometer principle here, so I can say that from here, let's say this point, your pressure is 0 only. Okay, so from here we will move up to this point. Okay, so this is your next reference line. This is your final position, let's say. Okay, so pressure at this point and this point should be same. Okay. Okay, so pressure at this point and this point should be same. So this pressure value should be 2720 times of G times of height will be your 12 plus x. Let's keep it in centimeter only. Okay, this should be equal to your like this dimension Mercury. For Mercury is 13,600 times of G times of your height is here, it will be your x plus y. Okay, x plus y. Okay, is it clear? Now if I solve this, like if I use y is equal to 4x also here also, then from here I can calculate my value of x. So okay, so let's like if I want to solve this, let's solve this first. G will cancel out by G, so this will be 2720 divided by 13,600. Okay, is equal to 0.2. This will be your 0.2. So 0.2 times of 12 plus x is equal to, or if we inverse this, so this will be your 5. So I can write 12 plus 5 12 plus x is equal to 5 times of your x plus y is equal to 4x. So this will be 5x again, 5x 25x. Okay, so 25x minus x will be 24x. So 24x is equal to 12. So from here I can say that, so from here we obtained our x is equal to 0.5 centimeter. Okay, x is equal to 0.5 centimeter. Okay, so it is asked to determine the maximum amount of oil that can be added to the left arm. Okay, so let's say that this is your h oil, this is your height of oil, h oil. Okay, so I can write h oil is equal to 12 centimeter plus x. So we have obtained h oil is equal to 12.5 centimeter. Okay, now since these are maximum amount, so amount should be your volume. Okay, so volume of oil added can be written as pi by 4 d square into L. Okay, or I can write it h oil. And one more thing, this diameter here should be your like 2d diameter. This is not 2d, so 2d square, so is equal to pi. So if you solve this, so that means, so we know that pi is 3.142 into, so this will become d square. So d is given as d is equal to 1.5 centimeter, so 1.5 square. Okay, and into h oil is 12.5 centimeter, 12.5 centimeter. So if volume of oil becomes 88.37 centimeter cube. Okay, and we can convert into your meter cube by multiplying it with it 10 to the power minus 6. Okay, is equal to 88.37 into 10 to the power minus 6 meter cube. Okay, because 1 centimeter is equal to 10 to the power minus 2 meter, so this will be minus 6 meter cube. And we can also find mass of oil added, that is rho into volume of oil, and rho of oil, S of oil is given as 2.72, so your density will be 2720. Okay, into volume of oil, which is your 88.37 into minus 6. So this will be in kg. Okay, so let's multiply it by 2.72. Okay, so this comes out to be your 240.36 grams. Okay, 240.36 into 10 to the minus 3 kg, so this would be 240.36 grams. So I hope you get this. Okay, So now let's move to next question. So in this question it is mentioned that a cylindrical container weight of 65 Newton is the weight of the container is inverted and pressed on to the water shown in the figure. Determine the differential height h, okay, of the manometer and force F needed to hold the container at the position. Okay, so what we should do here, let's say that inside pressure is P air, okay, and this P air will be acting on this water surface from above and also on the top of the surface, okay, and also it will be acting in on the sides also, but we will take here only. Now let's say that this point here is 1. So if I talk about pressure at point 1, okay, so pressure at point 1, if I talk about, this will be equal to rho of water, okay, times of G times of this H, okay, let's say this is your X, okay, X. So this will be equal to rho is your 1000, G is 9.81, so this will be 9.9810 into, now this is 0.2 meter, okay, so this P1 becomes 1962 Pascal, okay, and what else, and so this pressure P1 will be acting on this surface, okay, like on the mass of air inside the container, this pressure P1 will be acting, okay, and one more thing, that weight of container is given as W, okay. So if I want to write your equilibrium equation, okay, and before that let's write P of air also. So P of air, I can write it is equal to manometric fluid, this is your rho of water, this is your rho manometric fluid, okay, times of G times of H, and of course this P air is in your gauge only, okay, because we have like considered atmospheric pressure to be 0. So this will become rho, this is 2100 times of G times of H, okay. So if I solve this from here, I will get 9810 into, so this will this is your 20,601 times of H, and this is also in your Pascal only, okay, this is your Pascal, okay. So now if I talk about, let's say, your this surface, this water surface, so for equilibrium of water surface, for equilibrium of water surface, your I can say that P1 must be equal to your P air, okay, like we know that now on the free surface your pressure at like atmospheric pressure will be equal to just below it should be in equilibrium, net pressure should be, or net force should be equal, okay. So this P1 we have written as 1962, and this P air is 20601 times of H, okay. So from here I can find my value of H is equal to, so let me divide it, so this is your 0.095, so this is your 9.52 centimeter, okay, in terms of centimeter if we talk about. So this here was the first thing that was asked, that is the differential height h of the manometer, okay. Now second thing, it is mentioned here that determine the force F needed to hold the container at the position, okay. So now let's say for equilibrium of container, for a container to be in equilibrium, your F net should be 0. Summation of F is equal to 0. Okay, and equal to directionally. Okay, so I can say that downward force F plus weight W. Okay, so these are our downward force, and upward force is this P1 times of A must be equal to your P1 times of A. Okay, now we have to find F, so I can write your this equation to be P1A minus W. So I can write P1, I have calculated as your 1962 Pascal. So 1962 times of your area is pi by 4 times of d square that is 25 centimeters. So this is into 0.25 square. Okay, minus weight W is given as 65 Newton, minus 65. Okay, so from here I can calculate my value of F is equal to, so let me solve this. So 1962 into pi, that is 3.142 divided by 4 into 0.25 square. Okay, minus 65. So this is 31.32. Okay, so your F is equal to 31.32 newtons. So this much amount of force will be needed to hold the container at this level only. Okay, otherwise if we remove this load F, so what will happen? Container will like move upward. This pressure should be less than that of your original required. Okay, now in this question, next question, consider a hydraulic jack being used in a car repair shop. The piston have an area A1. Okay, so this area is 0.8 meter square, and A2, this area is your 0.04 meter square. Okay, hydraulic oil with specific gravity 0.87 is pumped as a small piston on the left side. Okay, is pushed downward and upward, slowly rising the piston in the right side. The car weigh 13,000 Newton is to be jacked up. Okay, so here your weight will be W. Okay, here W weight will be applied downward, weight W. Okay, and this W is given as your 13,000 Newton. Now is to be jacked up. A, at the beginning when the both piston are at same level, calculate the force F1 in Newton required to hold the car weight of the car. Repeat the same calculation after car has been lifted by 2 meters. Okay, so first case, let's discuss your first case. So it is mentioned that H is equal to 0. So it means that both pistons will be at same level. So pressure at both points will be same. Okay, so I can say that my P1 will be equal to, I can like this will be always the case, F1 upon A1, and P2 is equal to F2 upon A2. Okay, 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 and of course this weight will be equal to your F2, because this F2 is the force required to raise the weight. So these two must be equal. Okay, now I can from here what I can say that in the first case your at H is equal to 0, I can say at H is equal to 0, your P1 will be equal to P2. Okay, from here what I can say that my F1 is equal to F2 times of A1 by A2. Okay, now if I substitute the terms here, so I have given the value of F2 to be 13,000 times of A1. Now A1 is your 0.8 centimeter square, so this will be 0.8 into 10 to the power minus 4 in meter square. Okay, and similarly A2 is your 0.04. Okay, Now if I solve this, so I will obtain it is equal to your F1 is equal to 26 Newton. Okay. I hope you get the till here. Okay. Now in the B part, it is said that H is equal to 2 meters. Okay. So if I talk about at this level, if I talk about, so let's say take this as a reference line. This is your reference line. So at reference line, what would happen? Your P1 will be equal to your F1 by A1. Okay, and this at pressure at this point and this point must be same. So if I compute it to this level, so I can say it is equal to P2. Let's say this is your point number 2, this is your point number 1. Okay, although I will directly used it here, but I didn't mention it at that time. So pressure at 2 plus rho GH. So this is pressure at this point. Okay, let's say this is to be 1 dash. Okay, and this will be equal to your F2 by A2, that is P2 plus rho GH. I hope you get this. Okay, now what I can do, since I have to calculate F1 again, so I will write F1 is equal to F2 times of A1 by A2. Okay, first term remains like this term remains same here. Now addition to this, there is another term, that is rho GH times of A1. Okay, now if you substitute the values here, so this F2 A1 by A2 will be 26 plus this rho value is here 870 into G is 9.81 into your H is 2 meters into A1 is given as 0.8 centimeter square. So 0.8 into 10 square minus 4. So if you substitute the values here, so I will obtain F1 is equal to, substitute the values here, so 870 into 9.81 into 2. Okay, so this value will come out to be 27.4 newtons. Okay, so with this we are done with your second question session. Okay, I hope you understood till this point. With this we have covered our pressure measurement chapter. Now we will move to our next chapter. Thank you.